Hi, this is Carrie from Scrapyard Chicks, and I wanted to show you what our project for the week is, and it is a butterfly mobile. So you can kind of see I have it hanging in the doorway of my scrapbook room. I'm just going to go up a little bit closer. You can see it is on a cardstock ring, and it just will kind of spin, and then we've got all kinds of beautiful butterflies that are cascading down on these really pretty ribbons. And so I used some pattern paper for this, but you could definitely do this out of any kind of cardstock that you wanted. You could do it out of all one color, you could do it out of all white. It's just a really pretty project to use some of your really fun scraps of paper with if you wanted to. If you are one of our subscribers, stay tuned and I'll show you how I put this all together. And then I also included a printout template for you so you can cut out these butterflies if you don't have a Cricut to do it. So you can just kind of, I'm going to go back in for a little close-up here, you can just kind of see how pretty all of these butterflies are as they're hanging down, just kind of dangling, and I can just imagine how pretty they will be when the breeze will blow and they'll just kind of go around. So that is our project for the week. Thanks very much. Thanks from Scrapyard Chicks. Okay, so I'm back. We're going to start on the construction of our mobile. So the first thing that you want to do is you're going to cut two strips of cardstock that are 3 inches by 12 inches, and then just go ahead and score them lengthwise, and you're going to fold these in half. The reason for this is you could do this on an embroidery hoop if you wanted to, but I wanted something that was going to be pretty sturdy and that was would really hold up to being hung, and so I really like this textured cardstock. So I did that with both of my strips, and then what I did is I marked and I punched holes, and I did it the same way for both strips, and I punched those holes at 2 1/4 and 7 3/4. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlap these strips by 1 inch here, and then once again on 1 inch on the other side, and that is going to give me my centered holes. And those are going to be the holes that I'm going to use to hang it. So I'm going to go ahead, pardon me, I need to go in front a little bit. I've already punched those holes, so the next thing I'm going to do then is I'm going to overlap those by 1 inch. Easy way to do that is to use a ruler. You can use something like your score pal if you have it, or you can use a ruler and just measure that in 1 inch. Scoot that up just a little bit, just so that you get those in there just right. You're just, like I said, you're just going to overlap those. If you end up with a little bit of irregularity at the bottom there, that's an easy thing to you can just go ahead and trim that off. And then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go ahead and we're going to overlap those other two ends and just create a long strip. So I'm going to go ahead and put some adhesive on that. Now, I didn't use adhesive to stick this whole piece together. We're going to be stapling our ribbons along the bottom edge, so that essentially is going to give me that same effect. Another thing that you can do is, if you want to, is you can always mark over 1 inch. Sometimes you can just use like a scoring line, so you don't have to use a pencil or something that's going to show. And that way, when you go in, you can see exactly how far that you need to overlap those pieces. Whoops, kind of popped open on me there. So I've got a little scoring line there, so I know that I just need to overlap that over to that scoring line. And that is going to give me my hoop effect like this that I'm going to use to hang my mobile. Now what I've done is I took 4 18-inch pieces of baker's twine, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to thread that through those holes that I've already punched. I'm just going to tie those on. And I like baker's twine because it just adds a fun extra set of colors. So you're going to go ahead and you can tie those on all 4 of those pieces, all 4 of those holes. And then we're just going to tie them together at the top. And then you could do a fancier, if you want a longer piece, you want to do a bow or something like that, that would be fine too. So this is what's going to hang our mobile when we're all done. You could also use fishing line if you wanted to. If you don't want it to show, you could use a nice ribbon. You know, it's really just kind of up to you. Like I said, I just really like baker's twine, and this really pretty green and white twine from the twinery. It really looks nice. So we're just going to go ahead and put that in all 4 of those holes. This is really kind of a fun and easy project to do, and it's a great way to use up scraps. If you have scraps, if you're hand cutting these butterflies especially, you could cut them out of just pretty much whatever you want. So then what we're going to do is we're just going to pull all 4 of these strings up together. And this is a very precise method, and I just let it, you want to make sure that it's centered. So just kind of grab them together like this, and then we're just going to tie an overhand knot in the top. And then you can always adjust that if you need to. That's going to be how our mobile is going to hang. So we just tied a knot in the top like that. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to work on our butterflies. So for the butterfly strings that we're going to do, I've cut butterflies out in 5 different sizes. I've got a 3-inch, a 2.5, a 2-inch, a 1.5, and a 1. And so I'm going to do one string where I'm going to layer them together. So you end up with, these are all double-sided papers. So what we're going to do is we're going to do one string like that, and then we're going to do one string where we're just going to have plain butterflies. So what I did is I went ahead and I cut out, this is a 3-inch and a 2.5-inch, and I just went through with my Crop-A-Dowel and I punched little holes here and here, and I did the same thing. So this one is a 2 and a 1.5, and then this one is, 2.5 and a 2.5 and a 2, and this one is a 2 and a 1.5. And I went through and I did the same thing. I punched just some little holes. So I've got 18 inches of ribbon. I used all green ribbon for this just because I thought it would make it really look nice. Another really cool thing you could do is you could do all white butterflies or all yellow butterflies or something like that. And you could add jewels, buttons, texture, ink. There's all sorts of different things. So I'm just going to thread my ribbon through like this. So it's going to make it look like the butterfly body. You notice I didn't use any adhesive at all. So I'm just going to go like that. And then when I'm done with that, what I can do is I can take this inner butterfly and just kind of fold it in half. And that is going to give me some dimension like that. I'm going to go ahead and thread my next one on the medium size. And then I'm going to finish it off with a small one. So we're just going to thread those on like that. And I'm just going to keep going. I'm just going to show you one that's already done. So here I have one where I've already got all 3 of those butterflies fed on there. So you're going to do 4 strings that are like this, and you can alternate and do the small one at the top or whatever. So we're going to go and we're going to do 4 strings that look like this, and then you're going to do 4 strings that are just single butterflies. And these are 1.5 and 2-inch butterflies. So I did 5 on this one. So what you end up with is you end up with 8 different strings of butterflies. And then we're just going to be alternating them around. So we've got 4 sections. So you're going to be doing 2 of those butterfly pieces in each section. So we're just going to go ahead and we'll start with this one right here. And we're just going to, and this is it's really simple. We're just going to actually staple it on there like this. You could punch a hole and tie it, but I find that stapling was just going to be so much easier. And then what I did is I cut out a bunch of 1-inch butterflies. And then when I'm all done, what I can do is I'm just going to go through and I'm just going to glue those little butterflies just on top so it hides that staple. So I'm going to staple one of those multi-dimensional pieces on, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to staple one of my pieces that's got the 5 single butterflies. Same thing, and I'm just going to keep going around until I have all of my whole ring is all filled with my different butterfly pieces. So I'm just going to keep going around. You can use a regular staple, or you can use a tiny attacher. So you can see how cute this is turning out since we're putting all of these different butterfly strings on there. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to finish this up, and then I will be back to show you what this looks like when it is all done and we have all these beautiful butterflies cascading down. Okay, so this is what our finished product looks like. You can see it's got all these beautiful butterflies cascading down. And And then I just went ahead, once I got them all threaded on there, I stapled each one onto the top up here, and then I just covered it up with a little butterfly. And I just put that on with some foam tape. And then I did go ahead and finish the edges of my ribbon by just snipping those off. If you wanted to, you could also add buttons or beads to the bottom if you want to add a little bit more weight. So you can just, like I said, I used 8 different streamers of butterflies. You could definitely use more if you wanted. You can vary the lengths. It's just a really pretty, fun way to use up lots of paper scraps. Like I said, it's really a cool project also to do all in white if you wanted something really, really stark, just kind of very different. So this is what our finished project looks like this week. So I hope you enjoy it, and I will see you again next week. Thanks very much, and have a happy spring day. Bye.